Morning of April 27, 2021. Left St. Louis Obispo for a journey home. Let's see, I'm going to turn the 6.5 drive home to a journey of 3 days, 4 days, going through Sequoia National Park. On my way there, I decided to do a detour to go to visit the Carrizo Plains National Monument, which is like the plain that used to be, I mean, most of California, the Central Valley used to be like this, basically, before it became an agriculture area and irrigated and dumping grounds for all kinds of pesticides and herbicides. This national monument is actually traversed by San Andreas Fault. I'm gonna go visit later today. It runs through like that. And what they get here at San Andreas moves a couple of inches a year, but here it builds up energy and moves in big earthquakes. Like the last earthquake was about 150 years ago. And the ground moved 30 feet horizontally and 3 feet vertically. That's a cool feature to go look at later today. They have a couple of campgrounds here. I'm going to go visit one of them that's more accessible. I was planning to stay here overnight, but I actually was lucky to find a campsite at Sequoia National Park for 3 nights, so I'm going to head out there later in the afternoon. It's like another 3.5 hour drive to Sequoia. One of the tourist attractions here is the painted rock, Indian paintings on that sandstone. A couple of sandstone, whatever, hills or small bumps there. But it's closed for the season because of nesting. I don't know what's nesting there, but usually it's closed between March and I think August, late July. The visitor center is closed too. They have good, a couple of brochures here that people are interested. They can look at it. I brought my bike too. I was hoping to bike by the Soda Lake, but we'll see if it's worth doing that. Alright, I'm gonna head out to the Kcl Campground. Check it out. So I made it to Kcl Campground. It's basically Kern County Land Company. I suppose it owned this property for ranching, I suppose, long time ago. And now it's Bureau of Land Management. It's about 11 miles from the visitor center. 6-7 miles of it is dirt road, but a good dirt road. You can do 60-70 miles per hour, no problem. At least when it's dry. It's a beautiful campsite actually. It has these cottonwood trees. I don't know if they're cottonwood but they're nice trees, shaded. Vault toilet, free. And I think there are like 7 or 8 sites. Each site has a picnic table, fire ring. I guess I could have stayed here overnight, but I'm debating it. What I'm gonna do all day. It's great if you just wanna chill here, solitude, hear the breeze, the grassland, birds, watch the clouds roll and paint dry. I was hoping to bike, but it's too windy for biking. That's why I'm not gonna stay here for tonight. I'm gonna go visit a couple of other sites and then head to Sequoia National Park. Find great solitude here, but at night you see a lot of stars. That's San Andreas Fault in the front. That's where I'm gonna go next. It's around noon right now. There are 2 other campers here, and I saw a couple of other RVs coming here. So, and then there's one more campground on this land, Bureau of Land Management, Kcl Campground, and that's more remote, and I don't think it has any trees. Alright, next stop, San Andreas Fault. So after leaving that Kcl Campground, I came back and took Panorama Point Road. It's all dirt road, and then 6-7 miles to Elkhorn Road. This is Elkhorn Ridge. Behind this, that's San Andreas Fault. See these hills are created by the fault, San Andreas Fault, moving to my left, the Pacific Plate, and grinding against the North American Plate on the other side of the hills here. And it basically wrinkles the earth and ground and moves it around. You get these hills, very linear hills. It goes all the way to south of San Francisco and then into the ocean. And then it comes back up again, I think near Point Reyes. There's a little walking trail. I think that's where the actual fault is. I'm gonna walk there. And that white stuff there, it's Soda Lake, right, nice dry. When it rains, you get shallow water in it, then evaporates, salt remains, gets white. So this Wallace Creek Interpretive Trail, that's where I'm standing. It has a kiosk, a little, box with a brochure in it. Basically, Wallace Creek crosses the fault, so it shifts. And the sign says if you wait here 10 million years, you're on Pacific Plate, you'll be in San Francisco in 10 million years. Because San Francisco city itself is on North American Plate. I don't have that much time, but let me go check out the fault here. So this is it. This is San Andreas Fault. Well, actually, this is Wallace Creek. It's flowing this way, and then it goes there and bends to the left, goes down that way to Soda Lake. It comes down from those hills up there, and it comes here. And the fault has moved the creek path. Used to be basically straight down going this way. This is the Pacific Plate moved this way. The creek moved with it, the Greek Creek path. I'm gonna go up on this mound here, and it apparently looks better. It's a nice interpretive trail here. They have posts, couple of posts with markers on them, and the guide tells you where you are, what you're looking at. This is post number 1, I think, yeah. And it says you're looking at Wallace Creek coming from the hills up there. It's going this way. It hit the fault, and the fault moved. This Pacific Plate moved this way and took the creek with it. It goes down there and then makes another turn. You see that turn it makes there? Then keeps going towards Soda Lake. So this is like about a couple hundred yards that has moved. There's another post up there that shows a gully that moved about 30 feet. The last great earthquake here in 1857. That's when the ground moved horizontally 30 feet in one jolt, and it dropped 3 feet vertically. Very cool for a geologist or geology enthusiast like me. For others, it looks like a desolate wasteland. Look at that dirt devil. Woo. walk across the two plates, crossing the fault. Don't move. No earthquakes. Let me cross to North America. Here's the fault. And here's North America. Woohoo! Matter of 20 feet apart. Everybody thinks this fault is just a single line, no discontinuity, but it's a whole fault system that runs parallel with San Andreas. I think like 30-40 miles wide, but like Hayward Fault, all those faults in San Francisco and all that, they're not necessarily connected, but they're part of the system basically. As the ground is moving, it cracks the ground and creates new faults, crisscrossing faults. Everybody's fault. Alright, I'm gonna go back to the car and start heading out towards Sequoia National Park. It was a nice detour here to come. I think I was a month late to see the wildflowers. Another thing this area is famous for is wildflowers that when they bloom. This year was a dry winter, so I'm not sure if they had any blooms, but basically they got 12 inches of rain here in San Luis Obispo, around here, in January. Record amount, and then after it was dry. Small rainstorms here and there. There's a skull. I think it's of a coyote or a fox or whatever, with canines. Anyway, it's been a dry winter, so even if they had any blooms, I missed it by a couple of months. But they get beautiful wildflower blooms during wet years by around this time. So from Wallace Creek, after I left, continued on the road to Simmer Road and turned left towards the visitor center again. Here comes tornado. That's the one. Man, it's so cool how it rises. The air is heating up and rising and starts turning. Then you come like 6 miles to the access, Soda Lake access parking lot. Dry lake most of the time. There were rain showers a couple of days ago here, so walking on the lake bed, it feels like soft sand. Hasn't crusted hard yet. I guess from the last moisture it got. Cool. See all kinds of tracks, mostly shoe tracks. Two-legged animals. And somebody came here, I think, with a baby stroller. Solitude. On my way out the monument, I stopped by the overlook hill. Gonna climb this little hill. There's a parking area here with vault toilet. See what's, you can see the whole lake here. There's a boardwalk down there too. Down there is a boardwalk. There's a dirt road that goes there and you can walk. I guess when the water is high, they call it the boardwalk. If you want to walk on the lake bed.